Hi everybody, welcome to the Card of the Day Challenge. I'm your host for the week, Hillary Haggerty of tarotbyhillary.com. So a little bit about me. I've been reading tarot since 16 years old after giving what I thought was the best birthday present to my mom and having her give it back to me because she didn't want to deal with any of that. She wanted me to do her readings for her instead of reading tarot for herself. But she might not have known it at the time, but she birthed the tarot reader that you see today. So I've been reading since 16 years old and professionally since 2005. So this is my 11th year, and I can't believe this, in business. So, yay! So, let's get to the real point here. The point of this challenge is not to overwhelm you when you're starting your card of the day practice. We're going to actively avoid the TMI syndrome that comes with tarot reading, which is too much information. Information overload, I find to be like the number one reason that people give up learning how to read tarot, because it's just too much to remember, too many keywords to memorize, too many different associations with the astrology and the elementals, and not just one card, but like different card spreads, and how do I make them make sense with each other. Tarot does not have to be this complicated, and we're driving ourselves nuts. So this is a challenge for those of you who are just learning how to read tarot, or some of you that are getting back into it again after a while, or for any of you that really want to start and keep a card of the day practice. So my goal for this week is to give you just the information that you need to start reading the tarot, and only the information that you need. So we're going with the less is more adage, and we can add on information later after this challenge is over. And you can feel free to do more research and get as in-depth as you want to, but for right now, we're going with less is more, okay? Okay. So today's goal is to give you a little bit of the history of the tarot, and also the structure of a tarot deck. So to be really, really brief, and this is going to be a super, super brief history on the tarot, and again, you can do your own research later, but this is just as a guideline for you of where these tarot cards came from. And this is based on what we think we know about it. So tarot has its origins in playing cards, and what we now think of as primarily a divination tool used to be a card game very similar to bridge. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. This used to be a card game, so let's keep it fun, because the divinatory aspects of it came later, not before. This was never intended at its inception to become the divinatory tool that we now use today. So this was in 15th century Europe, prior to the printing press, had hand-painted cards, and wealthy merchant class of Italy would commission decks with their likenesses. So these cards weren't really used for fortune-telling until the 1700s, when a Frenchman, Jean-Baptiste Alliot, stylized himself as Atelier and published a guide to tarot card reading. So he's the forerunner for what we know as the divinatory system of tarot that we know today. So that is your baseline history of the tarot. You can definitely look up more information later on, and I will have some recommended reading for you at the end of this video. So keep that in mind, and now compartmentalize it and put it to the side. So let's talk about the structure of the tarot deck. So the tarot deck is broken up into different sections. You've got the major arcana, which is basically the Fool's Journey, numbered 0 for the Fool to 22, which is, well, 0 the Fool, and then there's 22 cards in the major arcana. The 21st card is the World. So that the major arcana symbolizes, to me, life changes, major life changes, and pivot points in everybody's life. So you start out as the Fool, and then within the deck, you're going through these different phases, guideposts to your journey. So we'll get into individual cards as they come up, especially when you're starting to pull cards yourself, because you will be pulling a card at the end of this video. So you have the major arcana, then you have the minor arcana. So there's basically, to me, there are two decks within a tarot deck. You've got the major arcana and you've got the minor arcana. Now, the minor arcana may look more familiar to you than the major arcana because the minor arcana are almost like playing cards. They have 4 different suits, and they are numbered 1 through 10, actually ace through 10. And then they also have court cards. Now, some tarot readers like to sort their tarot decks into 3 different sections. You got the majors, you got the minors, and then you have the court cards. I don't like to do that personally because then it puts the court cards on this kind of pedestal and it gets people a little bit freaked out as to what the difference is between the court cards and the number 1 through 10 cards, and then it becomes very overwhelming for them to understand the actual meaning of the court cards. Court cards, to me, are read no differently than the rest of the minor arcana or even the major arcana cards. So that's the reason why I don't separate it into its own category. So you have the 4 different suits, which is cups, wands, swords, and pentacles or coins. Now, each of the different suits is ruled by a different element. Some readers will switch up their elements. I've heard of some readers using wands with an air element and swords with a fire element, but I stick with the traditional elements, which is wands, fire, cups, water, swords, air, and pentacles or coins, earth. So, there you go. That is the basic structure of any tarot deck, and if they call it a tarot deck, they are all going to have those cards in common. They're going to have a major arcana, they're going to have the Fool, they're going to have the Death card, they're going to have the Tower card, they're going to have the World card, they're going to have the Lovers card, and then they're going to have the minor arcana, which is cups, wands, swords, pentacles. And they may call it something a little bit different, but the basic structure is going to be the same. And sometimes the different court cards will be called something different. So for the court cards, you have the pages, the knights, the queens, the kings. Sometimes you will get daughter of wands to represent the page of wands. Sometimes you will get youth of fire, and that will represent the knight of wands. Just for an example. So when in doubt, you can always look at the guidebook, or what we like to call a little white book, that's included with every deck of tarot cards, to see what the artist's choice is in giving the different names or the different elemental associations or the different keywords for that particular depiction of their tarot deck. So, hopefully that didn't completely overwhelm you, because if so, oops, I totally missed the point of this. So, here we go. Woo! You have the basic structure now. You have the basic history of the tarot. And now you're going to shuffle up your deck and you're going to pull a card of the day. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do mine now. This video was pre-recorded, so if you see this card being a little bit different from what you're looking at, if I post this to social media or what have you, you know the reason why. This is just an example for how I do my card of the day. So first, what you want to do is you want to take out your tarot deck. So what I'm using today is the Radiant Rider-Waite Smith deck, which looks like this and has stars on a dark blue background for the backs of the cards. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your tarot deck and you're going to start shuffling. Now, I shuffle overhand. I don't know if you can see that. I shuffle overhand. This is because I have very small hands and I'm in the wrong line of work. Just kidding. So tarot cards are a little bit bigger than playing cards usually, so you might have a little bit of difficulty shuffling if you have small hands like I do, but that's completely normal because they are bigger than playing card size most of the time. So if you want to shuffle overhand, that's fine. If you want to make a messy pile, that's fine too. But what I want to encourage you to do is when you're shuffling, if you happen to get an upside down card or what we call a reversed card, for your first card of the day draw, I want you to go ahead and flip it right side up again because we'll talk about reversals, I believe, tomorrow. Day 2 of the challenge will be all about reversals and whether or not you use them and how to decide to use reversals or not. Me personally, I do use reversals in my practice, but some readers don't, and it works just fine either way. So shuffle it up, and while you're shuffling, you want to ask yourself, what do I most need to know for today? Or you can ask, what does the tarot want to tell me for today? Or what is the best advice that I could use for today? Or what is the energy going to be like today? Any of these questions are completely valid to ask the tarot as you're shuffling the deck for your card of the day. It's basically a tool for you as to how your day is going to go and how you can best manage the energy of the day or what to look out for in the day. So I'm shuffling mine up, and then you want to stop whenever you feel you're ready to stop, and you want to pull a card either from the top of the deck, which is what I usually do, or you can pull from the bottom of the deck. You can fan them out and you can select a card. Whatever card is calling to you, that's fine too. So I'm pulling from the top of the deck. And I happen to get the Fool reversed. So what I'm going to do, what I'm encouraging you to do, because we're not talking about reversals yet, we're talking about them tomorrow, put that baby right side up. So there you go, there's the Fool, which is actually a very fitting card to get for the first day of the challenge. So the Fool to me is a sign of new beginnings, ha ha ha, and it is also a card about taking a childlike view of the world or childlike perspective of the world to reinvigorate yourself or to look at the world a little bit differently or to re-inject life or interest into a situation that you beginning to lose interest in. So that's a couple of quick notes about the Fool. So when you're looking at the card of the day, don't get so stuck in the, oh my god, this is a tarot card, I don't know what to do. It's okay. Just look at the picture and see what symbols jump out at you. It could be the little dog that's jumping out at you. It could be the rose that's in the Fool's hands. It could be the pack on the end of the stick. Whatever's jumping out at you and whatever you feel relates to the question that you asked the tarot is completely valid. So what you want to do right now is you want to pull out your card. If you have a reverse card, flip it over. Take a look at the card. Take a look at any symbols that are jumping out at you and write it down. You can either pull up a new Word document on your computer or you can handwrite it. But write down what the card is, the name of the card, what symbols are jumping out at you, and what you think they might mean in regard to your question, even if your question is, what does today's energy hold for me? Okay? So that is the first day of the challenge. Congratulations, you did it! And we've only got 4 more days of this. So enjoy, pull your card of the day, and I really want to hear what card you got in the Facebook group. So make sure that you've joined the Facebook group. It's still not too late to join. Go ahead and send a request to join in the Facebook group and share away and share your ahas and your insights. And I will talk to you later in the Facebook group and we can chat some more about what cards you got. If you happen to be stuck, I really, really hope not. This is an incredible tool for you, and let's just keep it simple, and less is more. And I really, really want you to learn tarot, and this is going to be the thing that gets you to learn tarot is the card of the day practice. I guarantee it. I was once exactly where you are. I promise you it's gonna get easier, just as long as you do it every single day. It doesn't have to be long either. It can be 5 minutes of your day jotting away and then returning to your card at the end of your day and seeing how the energy played out and how the card was applicable to your day. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the Facebook group, and I will see you back in your inbox tomorrow for your next challenge, for the Card of the Day challenge. Have a great day.